Good morning, I'm Gretchen Ho. We're coming to you on this Thursday on the 27th day of November, bringing you Morning Matters because your mornings matter. Let's get to the stories that matter today. Former presidential spokesperson Roque insists that the Netherlands did not deny his asylum application and that the process should take place in Austria. He also claims to have proof that the so-called polvoron video of President Marcos is authentic and not AI generated. The flood control controversy widens as 8 lawmakers are now recommended for plunder, graft, and bribery charges before the Ombudsman. Authorities say they're only the first wave as up to 15 more so-called contractors or cong-tractors remain under review. And the trillion peso March movement is set to stage its biggest anti-corruption rally yet on November 30, with organizers now ironing out final preparations for the event. Welcome to our program, Morning Matters, where we talk about the issues you need to know for the rest of your day. Now, first on the agenda, former presidential spokesperson Roque clarified that the Netherlands has not denied his asylum application. He also claimed he has evidence and an expert witness to prove that the controversial polvoron video is authentic and not AI generated. Here's the report. Moving on to other things, resigned lawmaker Zaldy Co has dropped another explosive video, this time accusing First Lady Liza Marcos of meddling in importation schemes. More in this report.
In another video posted on social media, Zaldy Co implicated First Lady Liza Marcos, this time for allegedly pulling her weight on rice importers. The former congressman on the run cited supposed data from Agriculture Secretary Francisco Laurel Jr. himself. Co claimed that in 2024, he requested then House Speaker Martin Remulla to investigate skyrocketing rice prices. But Congressman Sandra Marcos allegedly called Remulla to nip any probe in the bud upon the orders of his father, the president. Co further alleged that Laurel was even reprimanded by the Speaker for a report that mentioned the First Lady in rice smuggling. The resigned Bicol party list representative also accused Mrs. Marcos of blocking any investigation into onion prices back in 2022 because her brother, Martin Araneta, was into importation of the product.
Mula sa Pangulo, First Lady, hanggang sana sila mismo ang nagtatakda, kumukontrol at nakikinabang sa mga transaksyon dapat sanay para sa kapakanan ng sambayanan.
Noted earlier this year, Agriculture Secretary Laurel revealed that Zaldy Co forced the DA to issue importation permits to his 3 companies. The DA chief said Co wanted permits for a massive volume of fish, something that violates the import formula of the agency. Co's latest video came out a few hours after President Bongbong Marcos revealed in his vlog that the ex-congressman tried blackmailing him. Marcos said Co's lawyer offered a stop to his client's video uploads if the government will not pursue the cancellation of Co's passport.
I do not negotiate with criminals. Kahit maglabas ka na ng video ng lahat ng kasinungalingan mo na pag-destabilize sa gobyerno, gusto kong malaman mo, Zaldy, makakansela pa rin ang passport mo. Hindi ka na makakatakas sa hustisya.
Co's lawyer attorney Rui Rondain was quick to call the president's statement, quote, completely untrue. Rondain said he never spoke to anyone about Co's videos and passport. Prior to this, Zaldy Co also released a letter he claimed to have written President Marcos in February this year, calling for scrutiny of insertions in the national budget. This, too, was brushed aside by the palace. Palace Press Officer Claire Castro did not only cite inconsistencies in Co's video statements.
Sa tuwing mapupunan natin ang kanyang mga inconsistencies, sumasabay po ang kanyang pagbabago ng kwento sa pagbabago ng hairstyle sa video.
Kapatid Mobile Journal Julie Baiza, Remulla News.
8 so-called contractors or congressmen alleged to have ties with contractors could face administrative and criminal cases before the Ombudsman. And that number could still grow as more lawmakers remain under investigation. Here's a report.
Meron din pong development, yung ICI at saka ang DPWH magsusumite po ng ebidensya sa Ombudsman and magrekomenda sila ng kaso ng plunder, anti-graft, bribery, conflict of interest sa 8 congressman na may...
Hours after President Bongbong Marcos made that announcement, boxes of documents were brought by officials of the Public Works Department and the Independent Commission for Infrastructure to the Ombudsman. Their recommendation: file charges against 8 so-called cong-tractors, lawmakers alleged to have ties with contractors involved in flood control projects. Among them are former Bicol Representative Zaldy Co, CWS Party List Representative Erwin Gardola, Uswag Ilonggo Party List Representative James Ang Jr., Pusong Pinay Party List Representative Journey Nisay, Bulacan 2nd District Representative Agustina Pancho, Cagayan 3rd District Representative Joseph Lara, Surigao del Norte 1st District Representative Francisco Matugas, and Tarlac 3rd District Representative Noel Rivera. They could face charges of plunder, graft, direct bribery, conflict of interest, and violations of the Government Procurement Act. According to the ICI, about 1,300 infrastructure projects were obtained by the contractors from 2016 to 2024. They say this is a clear conflict of interest.
This practice should have ended decades ago. The longer we allow it to exist, the more it corrodes public trust. Let us tear down this abusive system one by one with every filing. Public office is a privilege. It should be used for personal gain or self-dealing.
The Ombudsman will now conduct an evaluation and fact-finding on the recommendations of the ICI and the DPWH. According to Ombudsman Boying Remulla, they are also looking into another 12 to 15 cong-tractors. More than 10% of the House of Representatives is now under investigation for alleged anomalies in flood control projects.
Madidisrupt talaga ang Congress dito. Masakit yan kasi nga, sinabi ko na sa inyo dati, this entails a lot of personal sacrifice. Kasi friendships are lost, marami hong nagagalit, marami nagtatampo, and then even my children are affected.
The Commission on Elections has dismissed its motu proprio investigation into Senator Cheese Escudero and contractor Lawrence Lubiano, citing a lack of evidence that they violated Section 95C of the Omnibus Election Code. In its November 26 resolution, the poll body noted that Lubiano's 30 million peso contribution was made in his personal capacity. The decision added that there was no record indicating he acted as an alter ego of Senator Waste Construction, the company that he leads. Comelec also said that Escudero's acceptance of the donation posed no legal impediment. Coming right up, the Trillion Peso March movement says its November 30 rally will press for accountability but will not call for President Marcos to resign. We'll discuss that with Akbayan President Rafaela David when Morning Matters returns. Keep it here. Good morning, I'm Gretchen Ho here at Morning Matters. We talk about the most pressing issues and give you the context behind headlines. The Trillion Peso March movement is set to hold another rally against corruption on November 30. Organizers assure the public that they are coordinating with the Quezon City local government and the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority to ensure proper security measures during the event. Now, the rally will run the entire day and feature programs by labor groups, an interfaith segment, and performances by various local artists. Organizers also emphasize that the protest will not call for the resignation of President Bongbong Marcos. And to talk more about their final preparations for the November 30 protest, we have Rafaela David, President of Akbayan, joining us this morning. Magandang umaga. Welcome to Morning Matters.
Good morning, Gretchen. Good morning din sa mga tagapanood natin ngayong umaga.
So Akbayan is not calling for the resignation of President Bongbong Marcos. Just to confirm with you on that, and where are you, is your group on the transition council that is being proposed and tossed around?
No? Kami po sa bayan, kasama na rin yung mga miyembro at gayon din iba't ibang kakabahagi ng Trillion Peso March. United po kami sa panawagan. Now we will go where the evidence leads. Kung ang ebidensya will clearly show sino ang pinakasangkot dito sa issue na to, we will call for the necessary accountability measures that is warranted. Halimbawa na lang yung mga paratang ni Zaldy Co, ang panawagan natin dyan, umuwi na siya at to take under oath yung testimony niya kasi mahirap naman kung sa TikTok lang at sa Facebook siya naglalabas and anyone can claim yung mga sinasabi niya and the allegations are serious. Pero klaro din sa atin sa Trillion Peso March na hindi lang ito usapin ng isa o dalawang pamilya kasi on the one hand, kailangan naman din talagang magpaliwanag at panagutin si Marcos doon sa kalakihan ng korupsyon sa ilalim ng kanyang administrasyon. Gayon din, hindi naman tayo papayag na ma-hijack ni Sara Duterte yung panawagan natin sa pananagutan. Ang klaro dito, hindi pwedeng bangayan ng Team Kadiliman o Team Kasamaan yung galit ng mamamayan, kaya ang panawagan ng Trillion Peso March kasama ang kasbayan dyan, kontryahin natin yung ugat ng problema. At ang mensahe natin sa November 30 ay end political dynasties. Kasi mahirap, parang naiipit tayo sa clan wars ng dalawang pamilya. Ang mahalaga, tingnan natin paano ba masusolusyonan once and for all yung corruption ito. Kasi mahirap kung paulit-ulit yung nangyayari, magbabago ng leader, pero ganun din yung modus operandi. So, we end corruption by hopefully ending dynasty and pass anti-dynasty bill. Gayon din yung panawagan po natin sa March ay talagang yung kaso. Kasi may mga nakita tayong developments. Especially may mga arrest na at gayon din may several cases na nakasalang. We're hopeful na tuloy-tuloy ito at sana ay hindi lang sana yung mga dilis nga, sabi nila, hindi maliliit na mga DPWH personnel lamang or officials. Hopefully yung mga talagang pinakamatataas na accountable ay talagang tuloy-tuloy yung kaso din sa kanila. Kaya mahalaga ang public pressure, mahalaga yung November 30, lumabas po tayo sa EDSA para ipakita na nagbabantay tayo para siguraduhin hindi ito for show lamang pero tuloy-tuloy ang pananagutan under the investigations ng ICI and other relevant agencies.
So just to be clear, hindi po kayo para sa isang transition council?
Tayo kasi ay we warn against possible extra-constitutional calls that will only benefit halimbawa yung mga unelected junta at naririnig natin maraming nananawagan sa revolutionary government or civil military junta at tayo po ay naniniwala na ang kailangan natin gawin ay palakasin ang ating demokrasya, palakasin ang ating konstitusyon at kasama po dyan yung pag-i-ensure na we strengthen our electoral systems against political dynasty.
Oo. Kahapon kasama namin dito si Bayan Chairperson Teddy Casino. Pinaliwanag niya itong Transition Council na pinapropose nila na posible naman daw na magawa yan legally. Kapag bumaba yung presidente at yung vice-presidente, magsabay sila. Tapos, pwede raw mag-issue ng for example, the Senate President will head that Transition Council. Pwede mag-issue ng EO to form the Transition Council composed of workers from different sectors, representatives from different sectors. Hindi po kayo naniniwala na posible yung gano'n?
Paano kayo ayun ko yung ko.
Bukod sa ang daming nung senaryo na yon, magre-resign si Marcos, magre-resign si Sara, ay ang constitutional path, kapag nangyari yon, again, ang daming ang constitutional path ay magkaroon ng snap elections within 45 to 60 days. So, yung nakikita natin na Transitional Council, maraming mga tanong kasi, sino bang uupo dyan? At ano ang nagiging pamamaraan? So, yan ba ay elect? Or yan ay pipiliin lang ng ilang mga tao? So, ang daming mga question and it will open us to a risk of an unelected council. At yun na nga, lalo na kung merong mga military adventurers na gusto pang i-hijack yung galit ng mamamayan, parang ang daming pwede at posibleng mangyari doon sa senaryo na yan. Ang nakikita natin, instead of risking our democracy and our constitution, kailangan palakasin natin yan. Kasi kung halimbawa gusto nating tanggalin ng isa o dalawang pamilya, pero paraan para lahat ng political dynasties ay ating once and for all matuldukan, lalo na tuwing election. And that will open up our elections to ordinary citizens, to people who want to engage in governance. Kaya kung tutuusin, ang pinakamadali at transformative na way forward ay finally, magpasani tayo ng anti-dynasty law. Kasi sila naman yung nandyan sa posisyon na nangungurakot at nagtatakip sa mga pangungurakot ng kanilang kamag-anak. At nasa konstitusyon natin yan. At meron tayong unique opportunity na i-pressure ang ating Kongreso, Senado, na nagsabing bukas sila sa isang anti-dynasty legislation. I-put natin itong clear path forward para sa pagbabago sa Pilipinas.
Speaking of political dynasties, no, talagang matingkad ang problemang yan. Lalong-lalo na dito sa kinakaharap sa mga investigasyon. We have the president, of course, he is, in terms of command responsibility, the highest in the accountability chain. And you have his cousin, Martin Romualdez, involved dito po sa probe na ngayon ay sinasabi nitong umaga lang ni DPWH Secretary Vince Dizon na meron pong recommendation of plunder, graft, and indirect bribery charges against him. But they all say the same thing, no? We will go where the evidence leads. And you also mentioned that same line, we will go where the evidence leads. Ibig sabihin, tiwala po kayo na kaya imbestigahan ng isang presidente yung kanyang kapamilya in the same way that the people under him that he assigned, tiwala po kayo na magkakaroon tayo ng patas na investigasyon kahit na pamilya na yung involved here, including his own son, si first son, Sandro Marcos.
Yun ang test na kailangang ipasa ng administrasyon na ito, na dapat walang pamilya pagdating sa investigasyon, no sacred cows, no cover-ups. Pero yan po, hindi ibibigay yan sa atin ng ICI o Malacanang. Kailangan po natin i-pressure na siguraduhin nila na talagang seryoso nila yung investigasyon na ito at hindi makakatakas yung iilang mga kapamilya nila. Kaya very important po yung panawagan natin. Ipasa na yung ICI bill. Ito po ay batas na sinalang ng akbayan kasama ni Congressman Laila de Lima, isa po sa talagang nanguna dyan, para siguraduhin may meeting yung ICI at gayon din talagang transparent yung ICI proceedings. Kaya very important, bantayan po natin ito. At yung pronouncement na pati si Martin ay may recommendation na mag-file ng case daw, ay dapat siguraduhin natin hanggang sa finish line, umaabot yung mga filing of cases na yan. Kasi kung hindi, baka mamaya akala natin ay may case na at gumugulong, yun pala ay natutulog sa pansitan. So, very crucial at this point. Hindi yan ibibigay sa atin on a silver platter. Kailangan nating mas maging mapagmatsyag and to be vigilant in the face of all this.
To be very clear, no, this is all within the same system that has allowed, the same broken system that has allowed corruption to fester from different sides, no? And your group is still believing in that system na kaya pang ayusin ito.
Actually, Gretchen, yun nga rin yung mensahe natin. Broken ng system, paano natin siya ita-transform? Gusto ba natin siyang sirain? Or gusto nating puntahan yung root cause? Kaya para sa atin, in a broken system, systemic din dapat ang response. At kasama po dyan yung transformative reform of a dynasty prohibition law. Ibig sabihin nun, an anti-dynasty law will change the rules of the game. Imagine kung bawal nang tumakbo yung kamag-anak ni President Marcos, kung hindi na pwedeng tumakbo ang magpipinsan sa national at local, kasi po dun sa final nating anti-dynasty law, yun na po yung para sa amin napakahalagang reset button. Kasi hindi lang natin sila matatanggal ngayon, kasi po ang resign or changing of the guards lang po yan ha, hindi po yan changing the system. Pero yung anti-dynasty law, actually po, it's a very transformative, it's a radical reform. Hindi lang isa, hindi lang dalawa ang matatanggal, lahat po sila. So we can catch them all by making sure hindi na sila makakatakbo pagdating ng eleksyon. At hindi na pwede yung mga isang mag-asawa, tapos sila yung vice mayor at mayor. Kita po natin na hopefully ay yung mga matatabang political dynasty once and for all ay mawala sila sa political system natin. At ang makapasok, yung mga ordinaryong mamamayan. So we actually think that this is the most important reform to our broken system. It will transform it rather than break our democracy.
Well, talking about changing the guards in that system, no, Senator Risa Contiveros has said that she is open to running for president and or vice president in 2028. Is she already trying to build the slate, and sino-sino mga tinitignan? Dahil sabi niya, this will be greater than the kakampings, and she will build the most winnable slate for the 2028 national and local elections.
Tayo po ay siyempre saludo sa lahat ng reforma at gayon din sa leadership ni Senator Risa Contiveros. Siya po yung Pogo Buster natin dito sa Pilipinas. Imagine, hindi natin nakita na yung ganong klaseng malalaking pag-abante sa pagprotekta ng ating mga kababayan ay posible, and at leading that charge is Senator Risa Contiveros. And we're hopeful that through her leadership, ano man yung maging cast of characters, kasi hindi pa rin klaro ano yung cast of characters pagdating ng 2028, ay committed po tayo ang akbayan at gayon din yung iba pong mga grupo na bumubuo ng democratic opposition na dapat maghanda tayo in building a counterpole. Kasi hindi naman pwedeng ang pinagpipilian natin ay team kasamaan at team kadiliman. Parang sa dulo, talo ang mamamayan. At mahirap din kung ang papapiliin sa atin ay mga extra-constitutional means na hindi naman din nagpapalakas sa ating demokrasya. Kaya po ang klaro po ang ating mission in the next coming weeks and months, palakasin po natin yung demokrasya natin, ibahin yung political dynasty, at buuin yung alternatibo na kasama si Senator Risa Contiveros at yung iba po kung magiging part ng cast of characters na yan. Sana po ay mahanap natin ng sama-sama, kasi yan po ay hopefully it's a process na kasama yung iba't ibang miyembro ng Democratic Coalition na kasama ang bayan at tumutulong din buuin itong Trillion Peso March movement kontra sa corruption, kontra sa dinastiya.
So,
Dagdag pala, Gretchen, yung mga candidates na yun. Yung mga candidates na yan, dapat sila ay mga anti-dynasty candidates. Hopefully, ay mas marami sa kanila ay bumubuo at kasama natin ay nire-representa din buong mga tutunsyon ng mamamayan.
So, ibig sabihin, wala na dito sa slate, wala nang pag-asa yung mga magkakapatid sa Senado. Katulad na lamang ng mga Tulfo, ng mga Cayetano, ng mga Ejercito, Estrada. Wala na pong pag-asa yan kasi sabi mo, sana anti-dynasty candidates itong nasa slate ni Senator Risa.
Well, ang sabi nga natin, sana mapasa na yung anti-dynasty law para in the first place that dilemma will not be part of our calculation. Kasi sa totoo lang, hindi naman talaga dapat family franchise ang posisyon. Ang hirap, may mga tatlong magkapatid, magkamag-anak sa Senado pa lang. Isipin natin sa lahat ng mga local governments, ganyan din. Kaya very important ipasa yung batas na to, and hopefully when we create our slate going to 2028 ay talagang they represent the people, not their family interests.
Okay, so ngayon hindi pa sila out kasi kasama pa sila sa calculation kasi wala pa yung batas Oo.
Well, basta sa atin, ang klaro, united tayo sa mas malalim na demokrasya para sa mga mga.
Nagsisimula na ba mag-organisa si Senator Risa para sa 2028?
Well, para naman sa akin, hindi tumigil si Senator Risa palakasin ang Democratic opposition in the Philippines at nakasama natin siya in multiple rounds sa iba't ibang electoral battles at tuloy-tuloy naman yung pagpapalakas ng Democratic opposition na kahanay natin.
Okay. Si former Vice President Leni Robredo has clarified that she's not going to the trillion peso march. Is that correct? Do we confirm that even in the Naga chapter of this rally?
Kung tama po yung aking huling balita, mukhang sa Naga ay sasama po si Mayor Leni, pero maganda pong, mas maganda sigurong tanungin din yung kanyang grupo about that. That being said, ang trillion peso march po ay nationwide. Hindi lang po ito sa EDSA People Power. Meron po tayong around 100 areas na kasabay, o yung iba po baka mauna, na magkakonduct ng kanya-kanyang trillion peso march movement nila. Which means, kung saan man po sumama si former VP Leni, at gayon din yung iba't iba pang mga kababayan natin, kasama po natin sila sa ating pagtindig at kaisaang diwa ng trillion peso march.
Posible bang makita natin magsanib puwersa itong si former VP Leni at saka si Senator Risa? Mas late na yun.
Well, magkasama naman po for the longest time ang ating mga hanay. At alam ko po, sa dulo, magkakasama pa rin tayo hanggang 2020.
Wala namang rivalry kasi syempre may kumbaga sa torchbearer, 'di ba? Iisa lang 'yun eh.
Naku po, yung mga nakikita natin online, baka kailangan po natin i-review, pero ang klaro sa atin, united po ang mga kasama natin in the democratic movement, at ngayon habang nag-deliberate, ano yung pinaka-best na path to victory going to 2028 ay magkakasama po din natin sasagutin ano yung mga next steps para siguradong hindi na kailangang mamili ng taumbayan sa mga false choices na hindi naman talaga sila ipapanalo pagdating sa gobyerno.
You mentioned 100 areas for the trillion peso march, but the main rally will be in the People Power Monument. Tama ba? Or kasama ba under that umbrella yung mangyayari sa Luneta?
Oo, yung main event natin ay yung nasa People Power Monument sa EDSA. At ito po yung grupo na nananawagan laban sa dinastiya para mawakasan natin korupsyon. Isang transformative reform na we hope will pass in the next few months. Sana ito na yung pamasko sa atin ng Kongreso at Senado at vote against their family interest. Siyempre, kailangan i-pressure natin sila doon. Siyempre po, may iba't ibang grupo pa na mag-organize ng kanilang mga events, and we respect all groups na baka iba po yung panawagan sa panawagan natin. Pero sa dulo, alam naman natin na kaisa natin laban sa korupsyon at sa pang-aabuso sa mga Pilipino.
So iba, hindi kasama yung nasa Luneta dito sa trillion peso march movement?
It's a different coalition po that's calling for it. Sa dulo, alam naman natin, may pagkakaiba man yung ating mga posisyon at the moment, in terms of moving forward, lahat naman din po ay nakikiisa na tayo ay against corruption.
Sino ang kasama ng akbayan dito sa trillion peso march?
Kasama po natin dito, we're happy to be joined by the leadership of the Catholic Church. Makikita po natin, maagang makakauwi si Cardinal Ambo, who will be concelebrating the Mass with other bishops. Gayon din po ay kasama na ang iba pang part ng democratic movement. Kasama dyan ng Tindig Pilipinas, labor groups. Ang November 30 po kasi traditionally bilang Bonifacio Day ay pinangungunahan ng mga kasama natin sa sektor ng asahanay ng manggagawa. So yung nagkaisa labor movement will be joining us, and of course other people's organization under Kalipunan ay Luten. At nabanggit ko nga po kanina yung Tindig Pilipinas na coalition din ng iba't ibang coalition, civil society groups. Kasi may mga youth organizations din po tayo. Shout out sa Youth Against Corakot at sa Samahan ng Kabataang Lumalaban, SKL, at iba pa pang mga grupo na bumubuo ng ating trillion peso march youth movement.
May na-confirm na ba na artist who will be there?
Makakasama po natin sila Miss Universe, Catriona Gray. Ang kasama rin po natin tupitog, si Glenn and Ben. At gayon din si Elijah Canlas will also be delivering a message. Gusto nga po namin magpasalamat. I'll take this opportunity sa Benin din kasi meron silang isang important event that we na hindi na nila makapupuntahan para sa pagtindig kasama ng bayan.
Wow. Oo. Okay. And then huli, I just want to clarify, no, kasi sabi ni Teddy Casino kahapon, sa rally daw ng trillion peso march sa People Power Monument, hindi raw pwede magsabi na or mag-call for resignation. Is that true?
Well, ang klaro po sa amin, united yung mga kasama sa Trillion Peso March sa pananawagan na panagutin lahat. And sisiguraduhin natin na at again, ang panawagan natin, this is not a simple changing of the guards. Importanteng mabuti ng sistema, ipasa ang anti-dynasty. Siyempre po, malaya ang mga iba't ibang grupo. Kung meron pa silang ibang mga panawagan, klaro lang po ang ating unity sa Trillion Peso March na we want to strengthen our democracy and we want to protect our constitution against hijacking ng mga undemocratic forces. Kasi po yung mga ganong mga hijack, yun lang po yung siguro medyo mahihirapan tayo. Baka halimbawa may maglagay ng banner bigla ng pro-Sara, resign Marcos. Yung ganun po halimbawa, talagang hindi natin isasama yun kasi alam natin pati si Sara Duterte kailangan linagot. Kaya nga po, nag-file yung ilang mga kasama namin sa koalisyon ng impeachment against her. So yung mga ganun po siguro baka mahirap. So again, lahat ng demokratikong panawagan ay pwede po sa Trillion Peso March.
Okay. So anong oras magsisimula ang Trillion Peso March on Sunday, November 30?
Yung mass up po natin ay magsisimula 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. pa lang. Pero yung official march ng ating mga leaders ay 8 a.m. po magsisimula. Tapos yung programa ay sisimula ng ating mga kasama sa labor movement ng 8:45 a.m. hanggang 10 a.m. 9:30 a.m. And then pagdating po ng 9:30, ecumenical. Ibig sabihin po interfaith. So, umaga pa lang po magkakasama na tayo. Para pagdating ng lunch, yung mga protest messages we will have at around 11 to 2 p.m. And then 2 to 6 p.m. performances po. So, buong araw po yung programa natin from 8 a.m. hanggang 6 p.m. po ng November 30.
Bilang paghuling tanong, personal question ko lang to. Kasama ka ba dun sa slate ni Rizzo Ontiveros?
Naku! Ngayon po ang klaro sa atin, palakasin natin yung mga hanay ng people's organization. So, dun po muna tayo tututok sa mga susunod na buwan.
November 30 muna, bago yung 2028. In the meantime, maraming salamat, Rafaela David, for answering our questions right here on Morning Matters. We have the President of Akbayan inviting everyone to come over to the Trillion Peso March movement, a call against political dynasties and corruption, beginning 6 in the morning for a mass and then the 8 a.m. march. Okay, maraming salamat again for telling us all about that. Rafaela, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Gretchen.
Former presidential spokesperson Harry Roque clarified that the Netherlands has not denied his asylum application. He also claimed he has evidence and an expert witness to prove that the controversial Polvoron video is authentic and not AI generated. Here is the report.
Former presidential spokesperson Harry Roque clarified that the Netherlands has not rejected his asylum request. According to Roque, Dutch authorities informed him that his application must instead be processed by Austria, the country that issued his visa. He was instructed to present himself there by December 10 and noted that if he remained in the Netherlands beyond that date, the Dutch authorities would have been obliged to process his asylum.
It is not a rejection. It simply means it is Austria that should process the application. But meanwhile, because I really arrived in Netherlands and I am in Netherlands, I'm still covered by the right to non-refoulement. Pero kung gusto ko umusad yung proseso at talaga mabigyan ako ng asylum, then it is Austria, according to the Netherlands, that should process it.
Roque admitted he initially hesitated when he learned he would need to travel to Austria. He said he preferred to stay in the Netherlands because of a personal promise he had made to former President Rodrigo Duterte not to leave him.
Pero sa akin naman, while I have accepted that Austria, according to them, should be the one to process the application, I prefer to stay in the Netherlands because of my promise to Tatay Digong na hindi ko naman siya iiwan. But when I was in the plane already, en route, thinking I was en route already to Austria, ang iniisip ko naman, I will just explain na hindi ko naman siya iniwan because I'm still in Europe.
Meanwhile, Roque insists he has evidence and an expert witness to prove that the controversial Pulveron video is authentic and not AI generated. He plans to present these evidence before the Supreme Court.
Kaya ako pinupulbos dahil dyan sa pulveronic video which they attribute to me and which they have filed charges for incitement to sedition against me and a disbarment charge. No? So lahat yan, it's easy to prove. And mabuti na lang, na-validate na ni Amy Marcos na talagang bangagang presidente.
As for the inciting to sedition charges filed against him, Roque described them as, quote, a badge of honor.
Well, that's a badge of honor. When you're charged with incitement to sedition, that's a badge of honor. As a long-term advocate for freedom of expression, hindi ka pwede magpakulong for speech unless there is a clear and present danger.
For News 5, Camille Samonte, We Are One News.
Up next, a new era unfolds in Philippine volleyball as Tony Boy Liao takes over as president of the PNVF. We'll talk to Tony Boy Liao about his vision, priorities, and what fans can expect when Morning Matters comes back. Keep it here. Welcome back. You're still watching Morning Matters here in One News. A new era begins in the Philippine National Volleyball Federation as PVL executive Tony Boy Liao takes over as chairman. Liao previously served as chairman and the federation's national commission head. He will lead the organization alongside new officers Dr. Arnel Hajan, Yul Benosa, Oti Kamangayan, Ricky Palu, and Roger Banzuela for a 2-year term. Liao officially replaces Tat Suzara, who has led the PNVF since its formation in 2021. And to talk about his new role, we have PNVF President Tony Boy Liao. Welcome to Morning Matters. In my whole lifetime, I never imagined that this would happen, but it has. And you are officially president with a unanimous 13-0 vote. Did you expect this?
Good morning, Gretchen. Good morning to all your viewers. Actually, this was not really expected to have a 13-0 mandate from the stakeholders. Actually, our goal here was just to be re-elected and then move forward to the past programs of the PNVF. But with this 13-0 mandate, I think it is quite overwhelming for us, especially those newly elected in the PNVF board, that now it is a big task for us, for our new group, to handle for the next 4 years the volleyball programs of the PNVF.
13-0 is a statement in itself, no? Pero kayo lang ho ba yung kandidato na kumalaban kay former President Tat Suzara? And what happened in the elections? Because it's being described as a 4-hour, 5-hour election process. Ano po ang nangyari?
Actually, the procedure that happened in the last elections, it's not like you have to nominate persons to be elected and then the General Assembly would vote. But this time around, what they made was all the stakeholders who were present can be elected upon. So we need to say 47 stakeholders could be elected, no need for nomination. Automatic, the 47 stakeholders were nominated. So the stakeholders voted 13 board members in their ballots. So after the election, they cast the ballots and then they called on each ballot, name who were elected, and then they came out with the top 13 voted board members. So that made up the 13 executive board members.
And from the board, doon na lang po pipili ng president?
Yes, and then from the board, we among ourselves right after the election, we elected the chairman, the president, the vice president down the line. So that made up the executive board.
Ah, okay. So, pero yung 13-0, ibig sabihin, nagkakasundo po lahat na kayo po ang magiging presidente, no? So, meron po bang mga usapin prior to the General Assembly na, Sir Tony, kayo po yung gusto namin? And why do you think you were the chosen one?
Actually, okay, if you would recall, we had this World Championship in last September.
Yes.
And then, actually, the term of the past executive board was to expire, no? Last January 2025. There was supposed to be a General Assembly to be called on January 2025. But when we had that executive board meeting last January 2025, so someone from the board decided, requested kung pwede, we'll just have the General Assembly after the September World Championship, which it was approved by the executive board that we will have it October 2025. So during the World Championship, when we called for a executive board meeting that was last September, we decided to have it November 30, 2025. So it was already approved that the General Assembly for the new year, for the new term, would be on November 2025. But you know, dito sa atin wala talagang nagiging permanenteng dates. So their group, okay, we need to say the present group of Ramon Susara decided to have the General Assembly on November 21, 2025. So that's when we had it.
Okay. Sino pong nag-udyok sa inyo na, na you could be PNVF president? Sabi nyo nga po, this is, everybody's automatically nominated, no? Pero 13-0, in your favor, who was talking to you beforehand na you could be elected?
Actually, when we had the September 2024 drawing of lots in Soler Club, in Soler Resort in Parañaque, right after the drawing of lots, we had an executive board meeting. And then Mr. Susara said that I should step down already when we have the General Assembly because of he being to be elected the ABC president, and at the same time executive vice president for FIBB. So he told the group, okay, I have to step down because I will be very busy. So from among yourself, maybe you can choose already who could be the person who would replace him. So wala pang naging meeting, wala pang naging usapan kung sino pwede pumalit. So Mr. Palu asked me, Ricky Palu asked me, why don't you be the president? Sabi ko, pwede, basta gusto ng grupo. Siyempre, pwede ko sabihin gusto ko maging presidente kung hindi naman ako iboboto. Wala rin, di ba? So, during the FIBB World Congress in Portugal, which I was invited, Ricky Palu was there, Ramon Susara was there, and the Secretary General Don Carrigan was there. So Ricky told me, why don't you tell Tats that you want to be president? So I said, okay, if there's a time, I'll tell him. So there was a time, so I told him, you are stepping down? He said, yes, I'm stepping down. So who do you want to take your place? So he said, it will depend on the board, on who will take his place. So I told him, okay, I want to be president. I want to run for president. So he said, okay, we'll just talk about it in Manila. So that was September. When we returned to Manila, October, November, dumaan, December, we never talked about it. So nung December, Christmas party ng PNVF sa aming office sa Bonnie Prime, I was there. They invited me. They invited all the other board members, but they were not able to come because that was already December, busy na, and some of them will be coming from the provinces. So I was there. Mr. Pulu was not able to come because he also came from another Christmas party. So I asked them, what will happen now in our coming election this January 2025? So are we pushing to be the General Assembly because I want to run for president? So sabi nga, let's just talk about it sa January executive
So
meeting.
nag-end po yung term ni Tatsuzara in short.
Actually,
Because he wants
all
to focus
our
on
terms ended December 31, 2024.
But because he
because
is
with the-
in the global stage already, hindi niya na po kayang i-handle ito. Wala naman ho, because hindi naman po lingid sa kaalaman ng publiko na nagkaroon po ng konting I guess conflict over the licenses of the imports recently with the new PVL, and you also serve as chairman. Wala naman ho parang animosity between you and the former president?
Na actually yung ITC itself, that was actually yung pinaka sabihin natin naging problema. Kaya siguro madami ng mga nagtatanong sa akin, anong sir ang nangyari, bakit anong problema with the ITC?
Yung
May
import
mga nagtanong nga sa akin,
certificate.
ano ba ang problema, is it the PVL, the PNVF, or Tatsuzara? Imagine he was being singled out as one of the problems. So sabi ko, actually, with PVL and the other club teams, kasi the ITC, this is how it works, no? Let's say there's an import who's coming in. Yung import has to certify, kasi there's a form from the FIBB, has to certify her interest to play. So she will sign, her club team will sign, her volleyball federation should sign. Pagdala ng form sa amin, yung ITC form, the club team that would accept her would sign, and then yung PNVF would also sign. So lahat yan nakapirma dapat, and then before we could send it to FIBB.
So hindi po pumirma?
So parang tinitignan mo, it was only 80% signed. So for it to be 100% signed, PNVF being the federation where the foreign player and the PVL is affiliated, should sign it para ma-approve ng FIBB. But the problem, nagkaroon ng hold. Hindi nga pinipirmahan.
Sir Tony, okay.
Nagka-problema.
I'm aware of those issues, pero one thing I'm interested in is what you mentioned in another interview about you looking into the finances of the PNVF. There seemed to be, at first glance, overstaffing and overspending. Could you describe more of that, and what changes, immediate changes, can we expect under your leadership?
Okay, I've been part of the last board. So, nakikita namin talaga ang daming tao. Every time there's an event, overstaff. Just imagine if we will have a BBT tour, that's a beach volleyball tour organized by the FIBB. So we used to host legs of that one. Yung kanilang staff, siguro mga 50 to 100 people. So, sabi namin, 50 to 100 people, you will be giving them meals, you will be paying them allowances per dime. So, talagang it's overstaffed to the point na every time we organize a BPT, we lose money. I don't think if ever, kasi since the beginning we were at the PNVF, I think we already organized around 3 or 4 BPTs. We never made any money. Talagang loss.
So what are you planning to do to have more transparency and accountability?
Okay, when you organize a BPT, so you pay for prize money. This is double gender. So you have to come out with prize money for men and women. Ngayon, there are different kinds of BPT. There's what you call the future, which the prize money is only 5,000 US per gender. Ngayon, if you say challenger, ang prize money nagiging $10,000 na dollars each per gender. So that's $20,000. So, saan mo kukunin yung $20,000? So, siyempre, you have to ask for sponsors. Usually, it's Rebisco. Because Rebisco is very active with beach volleyball. So, and then you have to pay for the hotels of the officials. Yung FIBB officials, yung FIBB referees. So, yung technical officials. So, siyempre, because this is being held in Santa Rosa, you don't expect them to go back and forth Manila and Santa Rosa. So, nakatira sila sa Laguna, Santa Rosa. So, ibibilit mo din ng hotel. So, you feed them, you give them per dime, you give them allowances. So, all of this, if you will add it up, talagang kapos. Kasi if you don't get a sponsor, abunado ka na naman.
Oo, pero ano hong pagbabago ang gagawin natin? We do know ito po yung mga problema. What are you planning to institutionalize? And also, what can we expect from you? What will your focus be on in the next 2 years?
Okay. First of all, we had a courtesy call yung board, no? Unfortunately, hindi kami kompleto kasi some of the people from the provinces cannot make it because of their previous engagement. We had a courtesy call kay PSC Chairman Pato Vigorio. So, tinanong din niya sa amin, tinanong sa akin, ano ba ang plano niyo? So, sabi ko, Chairman, the first focus is to have a unity. We will try to unify all the stakeholders. 47 stakeholders. Siyempre, yung 47 stakeholders during the draft General Assembly didn't vote for us. Hindi majority.
Yes.
So what we want to happen now is to unify everybody for one valuable community, one valuable family. No? Tapos na yung election eh. Nagsalita na yung balota kung sino dapat ang makaupo. So dapat magsama-sama na kami para for one volleyball. Yung FIBB, when they were here last September, signed a contract with PSC Chairman, yung FIBB 7-year program. Tinanong nga sa akin ni Chairman, will you follow that 7-year program? Sabi ko, definitely, Chairman. Because that's a very good program. That 7-year program, it would involve grassroots, the Alas Pilipinas teams, meaning to say men, women, beach volleyball, the underage teams, and the future FIBB events to be held in the Philippines from 2026 to 2028. So, yan ang programa. Kasi kaya, so I asked the chairman, Chairman, how come it's a 7-year program? Because ang aming term is only up to 2028. That's only actually supposed to be 4 years, 3 years na lang. Sabi nga, the reason why it's a 7-year program, because FIBB is looking forward to 2027 Brisbane Olympics. Gusto kasi niyang FIBB na magkaroon ng isang Philippine team in the Olympics.
Okay.
So tutulungan niya ang Federation of Pilipinas, actually the Philippines as per country, to qualify in the Brisbane Olympics, which is very good. So sabi ko nga, bakit naman kami, the new board, bakit namin hindi susundan yan, di ba? Kasi it is a very good for volleyball. The Philippines, maybe for the first time, I don't remember if the Philippines, any team, men or women, has ever played in the Olympics. So this is really very good for Philippine volleyball and for the Philippines.
Well, there's huge potential here for Philippine volleyball indeed, and with a lot of events lined up, including the 2029 FIVB Women's hosting na in-announce din po doon sa Men's Championship. But this is a tall order and a heavy burden for you, but good luck. We wish you the best of luck. I wish I had more time to talk to you about this, pero konti na lang yung oras. Pero I guess there's a lot of work to be done, and we wish you the best of luck kung ano sa ano, no, marami naman pong pera si Sir Tony, manager namin to sa Ateneo, kaya siya naman nasasalo. God bless po. Maraming
Thank you.
salamat
Thank you,
to the new
thank you very
PNVF
much, Gretchen,
president.
for giving us time to grace your show. And more
Yes, Sir
power
Tony
to you.
Boyliao. Yes, more power to you also.
Okay,
All right,
thanks
looking
a lot.
forward to the changes. And we end this broadcast with some great news. A big win for the Signal family at this year's People Management Association of the Philippines Awards. Signal, One News, and One PH were honored as CV Station of the Year at the 13th PMAP Makatao Awards for Media Excellence. Now, accepting the award were Risa Gilas, Head of Channel Management and Programming, Joey Francisco, Head of News, and Jose Christopher Cadwa from Human Resources. That's isn't it?
It was a challenging and hectic past year for us, all of us, in the industry because of the elections, the hate, the Vatican, and the corruption issues in government all na patuloy nating binabantayan. But we will continue delivering fair and needed content. So thanks, Mima, for the recognition.
And that wraps up today's episode of Morning Matters. We hope we've given you the right start to your morning. Let's go ahead and make the day matter. My name is Gretchen Ho, kapatid. We are One News, all sides, all the time.